In spring of this year, when I've been given the opportunity to give a TED Talk here in front of an open-minded and curious audience, I felt flattered. I felt happy about it and really honored, because I'm also an alumni from this amazing school, and it's a pleasure to return something, even if it's just about 10 or 12 minutes. And then I asked myself, how am I going to do this? And all of a sudden, something just twitched within me and said, how am I going to do this? There'll be cameras. Is the subject interesting enough? How will I grab the audience? What will they say about me? Who of you knows this kind of feeling? Thank you, I'm not alone. So just the pure thought of it got me somewhere. The pure thought of standing here had caused a drastic shift within me. In other words, my state had changed. Would I, with this state, still be able to seem competent, confident, relaxed? Probably not. And maybe also you had a moment in your life when all of a sudden you had a sudden doubt in your abilities. An exam, an interview, asking the one out for a date, speaking in front of an audience. I was literally feeding myself with negative thoughts, leading to questions that I didn't have answers to, leading me to an insecurity and a fear of failure. So today I'm going to talk about exactly this. How we speak to ourselves has a direct impact on how we feel. So let's have a closer look at the connection between language and perception. It's an amazing concept and complex in itself. And I wish I had 15 hours and not 15 minutes to talk about, but then it would become a lecture, and no one wants that. Language, it plays a crucial role in how we perceive and understand the world around us. Not only does it shape our thoughts, but it also influences how we interpret events and how we view reality. It allows us to share thoughts, experiences. And the way we speak and the language we use has a direct impact on our emotions, hence on our state, and therefore on our behavior. Words can uplift us. They can make us happy. They can motivate. But they can also make us sad, demotivate, or even hurt. Our brain is still an expert for a fight, freeze, or flight response. And after having met with the TED team, my own inner program started making me a sensation that I would consider as a freeze response. I could have stayed in that state and suffer. But I decided to do something about it and use some of the tools that I apply in my work with my clients. I moved. I went for a run. I went for a run to get rid of the adrenaline and the cocktail of hormones my body had created, not really allowing me to think clearly of a good solution. And I knew that after a while I would start feeling differently. Being there then, in this different state, I tackled this amazing challenge, speaking here today, by asking myself questions. What specifically is it that I need to do to get this the best way I want? What are the parts that I need to work on? And I visualized myself standing here. And in the beginning, it wasn't really that easy. But I visualized myself again, and I heard myself, and I felt the state I wanted to be in. And then I tackled the challenge even deeper. What do I need to do in terms of content, research, add my own professional experience? What do I need to do in terms of memorization? Practice, practice, practice. And in my case, practice, 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 practice. What do I need to do in regards of the talk, of the methodology of TED? Get a coach. And the more I dove into it, the more tangible it became. And the more tangible it became, the more realizable it became. So here I am, feeling pretty good. Imagine you sit down at a piano, but you don't know how to play it. But I invite you, hit some keys, hit some chords, just play. How does that probably sound? Maybe it will produce something you might not really like, or will create a certain discomfort. It's the same with your internal dialogue, with your self-talk. The words you use are the keys you hit on a piano. But you can learn to play. Because when you know how to play, when you know how to use the right words, and you hit the right keys and chords on the piano, it will create a melody, an harmonious interplay resonating in your body. Now we know now that words have an impact on us. And this counts, or this applies also for words we hear from the outside, as well as the words we tell ourselves. It's how our brain is wired. And this determines its reaction. This amazing thing that we have between our ears can't see. It can't hear. The only thing it does, it receives through its 5 senses waves. And then it starts to identify. It starts to compare, referencing the experience that is coming from the outside. And it provides you with the best guess of what is actually happening in the outside world. What do you see? And your brain starts scanning, searching, comparing. What can it be? Ah, I see wondering faces, yeah. There it is. And now you see it. Right? Your brain has learned something. Yay. So good news. When you start applying positive words and positive thoughts, it will affect your brain. And you will start to learn differently. So if you start rewiring your brain, just imagine what can happen. Okay, it's in the evening. Imagine tomorrow's a big day. And this tiny, tiny voice comes up and says, I didn't do enough. What could I? How is it going to be tomorrow? Or another voice tells you, you have again set your priorities wrong. Will you ever learn it? Who of you knows that? Sounds good? Yeah, sounds confident. Yeah. Likewise, been there, done that. There are several possibilities how you can challenge these thoughts. First, be aware of it. Gaining awareness of how you talk to yourself and the way you think. And as soon as you remark it, as soon as you notice that there is something happening within you, stop. Call a friend. Hug your partner. Tell someone to tell you that he loves you or she loves you. Shake it off, as Taylor Swift says. Do anything but to get out of that state, because that's not useful. Because your state determines the quality of your thoughts. So get out of there. And once you start feeling differently, reassess the thought again. Second, be realistic. Instead of looking at this dark cloud over you that scares you and that makes you really uncomfortable, take it and chunk the pieces down. Make them tangible, and then you start evaluating what you have to do in order to get where you want. And third, be nice to yourself. You're probably your hardest judge, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Same here, yeah. What if you started to look at yourself or the person that you, for example, see in front of you, about a meter 50 distance, as a friend? How would you talk to this friend? Shout or be kind and benevolent? And your brain doesn't know the difference. Embrace failure as learning. Excuse me to be blunt, but there is no use in dwelling in the past. The past is the past. You cannot turn back time. It's not possible. So look at the now and ask yourself, what can I do now to have a better tomorrow? And there is no failure, there's only feedback. Providing the most question, what can I do better next time? So next time you're facing a challenge and you experience any kind of feeling that you consider as not really helpful, stop it. Get out of there. Change your state. Do anything that helps you to look at yourself in a different way. So we've been talking about ideas, tools, and perspectives. What will happen if you apply them from today onwards? How different will you feel? I wish you all the best for your future challenges, and I wonder how well you will manage them by applying positive thoughts towards others, but mostly yourself. Thank you.